This is the west coast of New Zealand. Beautiful, rugged, isolated. Few people come here, but if they did, they'd discover a population that's growing rapidly and causing concern amongst the fishing industry. The fur seal, which was once a rare sight, has colonized these rocky shores. They appear from nooks, crannies and crevices, and they inhabit high rocky outcrops and the sandy beaches. These seals are mainly pups, left here while the parents are at sea, searching for fish. For every seal seen here amongst the rocks and flax, there are many, many more at sea. The population is currently estimated at 120,000, and it's growing at 15 to 20% every year. These 120,000 seals will consume at least 20 kilos of fish each per day. This is a total of at least 2,400 tons of fish every day taken from our coastal waters.
Are they endangered? Are the New Zealand fur seal still on the endangered list, or should they be on the endangered list? Well, I don't know, and nobody can tell me, because DOC at the moment do not have an understanding of what the current population is of the New Zealand fur seal on our New Zealand coastline. And we're asking the Minister that he should be doing surveys, because we may find that the populations are at such a level that they don't warrant being on the endangered species list anymore.
When James Cook arrived, he noticed the abundance of seals in the New Zealand region, and his reports back to Europe and Australia spurred the development of what was in effect industrial sealing in New Zealand. And in a very short time that led to the commercial extinction, for want of a better word, of the New Zealand seal stock. Some of the takes were absolutely enormous, and just in one season we're talking about 60-odd thousand from certain islands. Some time ago, Rolly Taylor, who's a very experienced seal biologist an ecologist from Nelson, suggested that there were probably in excess of 100,000 New Zealand fur seals at this time. One question that's frequently asked is why there hasn't been a census of fur seals. And the answer comes down really to simple economics. Fur seals are not endangered, and an organisation like the Department of Conservation, which has responsibility for these animals under the Marine Mammal Protection Act, has limited resources and puts those resources into looking after more important species, if you like, which are in greater need. For example, things like kakapo, Hector's dolphin and so on.
Reports from all across the fishing industry confirm that the number of seals in New Zealand waters has increased dramatically. As the numbers have exploded, their interaction with the recreational and commercial fishing industry has become increasingly destructive.
Might have been 15, 20 seals, that's about all. And they stayed on that one place for probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I suppose. That was the only lot that was there, and then all of a sudden they just exploded. They just seemed to come from nowhere, and they were everywhere then, like they are now.
Around about 8 years ago, I first came up here to work for New Zealand king salmon in the Marlborough Sounds, and there was very few seals here. You'd be lucky if you had 4 or 5 seals around the farms. Now during the winter months we peak somewhere around 50 seals around each farm.
Years ago we wouldn't see a seal, for example. Now there's seals everywhere we go. I guess they're out there following the scent of the vessels that are fishing in the areas and looking for an easy feed.
You can't blame the ordinary public, because they think that Greenpeace and DOC are wonderful people. But they don't tell the truth. They don't tell what it's really like and how many seals or dolphins or whatever it is they're trying to protect, they'll downgrade the numbers, like they've said with seals. Oh, there's not many out there. But they just want to go and have a look. They just want to have a look.
In the bottom long lining, the seals will actually rip a fish off a line as we're hauling. So they usually take ling or sea perch, and as the line comes up from, the seals will attack them about 20-30 metres down. They'll pull the fish off the line, bring them up to the surface, and then rip the livers out, and discard the fish and carry on and get another one. At times, nowadays, we would have packs of sometimes 15 or 20 seals continually around the boat.
Seals are basically gourmands, and the parts of fish that they will really go for, if they can get them, are the fatty organs like the liver and the roe. As a consequence, they will bite fish that are in nets and tear the guts out, and consume the livers and the roes, and often leave very little of the fish itself.
If a seal gets into a cage, we can lose, up to 100 fish in a night from one seal in the cage. Usually they'll just take a bite out of each fish, which is quite a waste. It wouldn't be so bad if they just ate 1 or 2 fish, but they'll damage up to 100. Maybe they have a big game in there, they go into a feeding frenzy and just take bites out of everything that's in reach.
When the farms were set up, there were no seals nearby. Now there's an increasing number. Often the seals come just to slaughter the fish in the nets. This is not a natural hunting technique.
I suppose really that they've been causing us around about $1 million to $2 million worth of damage each year, and that's in direct fish loss, and also the stress that's caused to the fish. We don't actually get very good performance from our feed. Or from those fish that we're growing.
Recently, the advent of the hoki fishery on the west coast has proved a real bonanza for fur seals, and the animals will follow vessels and pick up scraps and discards if there are any, and whatever fish that may be coming up from trawls.
The Hoki Fish Management Company, which represents virtually all Hoki quota holders, has developed a code of practice which requires all vessels to adopt fishing strategies which will minimise accidental catches of marine mammals. This is proving to be quite effective. The seals generally attack the nets at night, often hunting in packs and tearing fish from the nets. Seals have become predators of the sea, and as their numbers increase, they put at risk major New Zealand industries, such as the hoki and squid fisheries, and the salmon farming industry.
Well, maybe we should be looking at other management issues surrounding the seals. And by management I mean that we could introduce a controlled harvest on seals. And this is done humanely, and we allow iwi, local Maori, to set up enterprises because they have the rights and they have customary rights in this area, that they can harvest a set allowance which the Minister shall deem annually, and these can be humanely harvested, processed, the hides can be processed and exported and used. The meat can be exported to the Asian countries where this sort of meat is popular as a food source. And we have a export earning dollar, we have employment opportunities for our local iwi, and we have a sustainable management on our New Zealand fur seal stocks. And New Zealand could become a world leader.
The New Zealand fur seal is increasingly being regarded as a pest and a threat to the fishing and aquaculture industries. Recreational fishermen are also becoming aware of the problem. It is apparent to many that there is an imbalance in the ecosystem that needs to be addressed.